everybody, how are you doing? It's Muzz, and I'm here with a commissioned video by my amazing patron, Mitch Elliott, who really wanted me to make a video about making a paper aeroplane. That's Aeroplane, not airplane. Aeroplane. You get it. So yeah, I thought that would be an interesting video, and he pointed me in the direction of Kiwi Whispers from a 2011 video where he expertly created 3 paper aeroplanes, and I am nowhere near as good at making such things, so I'm going to do my very best to create my version of a paper aeroplane. And I know everybody does it their own way, and this is going to be my way. I'm also going to put my own little spin on it, so I am very simply going to walk through what might be pretty obvious steps, but let's just do it anyway. So I like to make sure that each corner is exactly together, like so. And then you get a nice straight fold. Now, if I've done that correctly, these corners should be pretty much bang on, with no overlap. And I would say that they are pretty much bang on, with no overlap. Wouldn't you agree? Then the next step that I would do is, of course, to fold one side into the middle, but I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap. Fold that out. Let's get rid of this other paper, shall we? I'm sorry. I'll make it easier for you to see. This is in case I screw it up and I have to do it again, which might be good because it'll make the video a lot longer. So, let's see. I'm going to get that one there. What I like to do is really run your nail along the edge. Get a nice tight fold, not just a crappy wee curved fold. You see the difference there? This one's got a nice tight fold, and this one's a bit floppy. So what we want to do is run your nail, or take like a credit card or something, and really get that fold done properly. See? Now it's not going to stuck up and flop around quite so much. Now when I was wee, this was basically the gist of the paper aeroplane. People would then create the wings right away, and I always felt that that just, it looks too boring, too cartoonish, and that we need to make the whole thing a bit more aerodynamic. So that's why I'm going to pull here and here, get a nice even curve so that we can get our paper aeroplane nice and pointy. Once we've got it reasonably straight, I'm going to press down there, and again it's not a bad fold. Not a bad fold at all. Let's see if we can do that again, and we want to make sure that we have some symmetry so that this meets right. You don't want one folded back here or there, we want to get it right in. Perfect balance. Now the front, I think, is starting to take shape, and there's plenty of a gap there, so that the paper does not bunch up. I might have made too much of a gap, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll be all right. Now here we run the risk. This is going to be folded here. Is this one going to arrive here if I just go for it? Or should we try to make sure that it's right? I think if I just start going for it, as long as that's held in place there, I know that matches that. But then error will creep in, and it might fold a little bit too far back or a little bit too far forward. That's where it's going to mess up the aerodynamics of the paper aeroplane, okay? But since we want to live life a bit dangerously, we're just going to go for it. Oh, I think that's not bad. I think it might be slightly off. I think this one is slightly longer this way than this one is. But I don't think it will make a massive difference in terms of its flight dynamics or whatever you want to call it. So let's just meet it in the middle now. Okay, let's just measure that out there. Yeah, there's a definite maybe 4 or 5 millimeters difference there. But I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. So let's just pretend we didn't see that. Now I like to make sure that we have a small fuselage and a big wing. And I'll show you why in a wee minute. Now the other thing is I want to do is I want to try and make it as straight as possible. We don't want a wing sloping that way or that way. Do it that way, it's just going to nosedive. You go that way, it's just going to flop up. You get it nice and straight. Should fly nice and straight before we make a little bit of modification. Let's get that folded over, and we'll make sure that that think I might have bossed it up a tiny wee bit, but just a tiny wee bit. That is my very simple trademarked Muzz paper aeroplane design. Just like that. Now, I will often put, I don't think I've got one, but I would often put a wee paper clip at the front. Okay, just to keep the nose together. That makes the front heavier, which encourages a nosedive. And this is the part that, growing up, I always did. And everybody seemed to roll their eyes when I did it. But I think I'm quite interested in, aerodynamics and stuff like that. So I will be taking my trusty Leatherman, which is overkill for a piece of paper. I'm going to get the wee scissors out. And we are going to cut some flaps. So let's assume that this plane is going to be diving. Okay, it's going to be diving a little bit because Muzz put a paper clip on the front. So what do we do when it dives? We create flaps which will steer the aircraft back up again. But we don't want to go crazy with it. We're not creating air brakes. We're simply creating a little bit of a bend which will make the air travel down, hit that flap so that it corrects the aircraft back up again. And if you get it just right, there's no reason why your plane won't fly very straight. And if you discover that as you fly your plane that it starts to go this way or that way, these flaps will also allow you to correct for that. If for some reason the plane decides to slope, to tilt or bank, I should say, to the left, well then you simply bend up the opposite flap so that more air will correct it back out again. Now I have flipped the image on my camera to record this video, so there may be a possibility that my left and right might not be correct. In fact, I'm almost certain of it because I can see the writing here. Okay, just ignore that. I'll fix it in editing. Too much information as usual. So, yeah, I would say that is my take on the paper aeroplane. fun. I could call it, give it a little window here. You like this very simple paper aeroplane demonstration video, and thank you again to Mitch Elliott for commissioning